I'd like to challenge you to look for several disciples, several men to train. Now, you remember we've just made a distinction between what a disciple is. I mean, Jesus's disciples were obviously, the apostles, they were obviously much more than basically trained Christians. They've been through much more than just the original basic doctrine lessons. They've learned much more than just about how to pray and how to go to church. Sometimes a missionary is planning on leaving a guy in charge of his church. To put it in the fable way, he puts all of his eggs in one basket, and that guy turns out not to be the guy. I would challenge you to train as many people as you can, take them all as far as you can, and you don't know who is going to be the guy. Now, I'd just like to remind you, Jesus had 12 and one was a devil. You're going to have 12, just making up the number, and 11 of them may be devils, and you'll only get one. You don't know. We're certainly not going to do as well as Jesus did. Adam and Eve had 3 sons who are named in the scriptures, and one killed one. Cain, Abel, and Seth, right? And so begin working with as many as you can. Train them all to be able to run the Sunday school, to be able to run the nursery, to be able to do the offering, to be able to count the money. Train them all to do all the ministries you've got to do. And as you go along, let the Lord point out who he's making to be the one that will take over the work that you have for him. So you're training as many as you can. You're looking for a lot of people to train. Jesus' only hope for world evangelism was the training of 12 men. He didn't have a backup plan. He didn't have another way he would go about it. It wasn't like, if these guys fail, I got 12 more coming up. That wasn't the plan. He picked some men, he trained those men, and he depended on those men. So you must work at choosing men that can go into the ministry, and you take them as far as you can. But I'd like to suggest to you that you don't get 1, get 3, get 4, get 5, get as many as you can. Pick up new ones all along the way. As soon as you got 1 guy you're training or 2 guys you're training, someone else is going to want to come in. Don't say, no, you can work in the next church. Bring them in and start training them. You don't know who's going to be the leader. You don't know. I would have put Peter as the leader of the church in Jerusalem, but it turns out James was. You know, I mean, you don't know what God has in mind for people to do. And so I would just challenge you to be careful to train everybody as far as they can, but get a bunch of people to train. Get every young person you can, and your whole week ought to be consumed with training men. Be careful that you don't just waste time.